So Bryce Young was actually the problem in Carolina, or is the Red Rifle the solution to all of the problems for the Panthers faithful? It's a funny one. They change the quarterback, and then they blow away their opposition. Nobody expected them to completely obliterate the Raiders. We know the Raiders' quarterback situation isn't great, but I don't think we didn't. Nobody expected them to put up 36 in Allegiant Stadium.
No one.
No.
I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there that put a crazy bet. Like, yeah, why not? The Panthers are going to score over 28, and they probably made quite a fair sum. But I don't think anyone saw this was happening. There is like two takeaways from this. I think this is really good for the Panthers organization for the remainder of this season, because what it's going to allow you to do is, we thought this was a roster
I'm gonna cut you off, Will, on that. So from what I've heard,
yep,
this is a short-term thing. They are going to bring Bryce Young back within the season.
Yeah, but what point?
At what point? Like,
so it could be a 3 or 4 weeks time. So they have allowed him to take the weight off him. Evaluate that team a little bit, and then bring him back in when it's a little bit more of a calmer situation.
Yeah, it's obvious that it was good to see, because a lot of people were writing this whole roster off both sides of the ball. They were saying, look, you can't get anything done on offense. You've acquired players and they're not performing. Defense isn't where it needs to be. And I think Cannells, I think is his name, head coach. I think he made a really good call in benching Bryce, which takes a lot of guts.
Canales, Dave Canales.
Dave Canales. So what he was able to do, it took a lot of guts to do this, but what he's done is he's actually won the locker room back, because now every player on that team is going to be like, we put up 36 points against an NFL defense. We can play. We can win some games, and we can go somewhere this season. So there's hope now. Whereas before, they were playing and knowing that he can't get us the ball. It's going to be a 3 and out every time, so we're going to get burnt out. Now there's actual hope in the organization, and you can evaluate what you have.
So we just lost Peter during this recording, but you'll just have to deal with the two of us from the rest of this one. But in this one, if you look at the stats. Chuba Hubbard, 21 carries, 114 yards.
Yep.
Extremely good level of production. And he had 5 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. So nearly 170 yards through scrimmage. The big passing game guy in this one was Deontay Johnson. We expected him to take over the mantle in this one.
Yep.
14 targets, 8 catches, 122 yards and a touchdown. Thielen did get a concussion in this one. He had so he had a big hit. He still managed to take the catch, but he got hit on the play. So let's see. We don't know.
Yeah, we could see his frustration after that. I think right when the team is playing so well offensively, he wanted to be out there, and I think a lot of people sort of look up to Adam Thielen like he's a vet, and he's pretty much the pulse of this offense. So it's a big loss. My guess is that he's probably going to be out next week. This is when they're going to get their rookie, I believe, Xavier Legette, who
he had 2 catches for 42 yards in this one. So
2 catches, 42, which means he's explosive. They basically brought him in to kind of be like Deebo Samuel in this offense. And that's something he can do with his measurables. So it's going to be really good to see how the offense develops heading forward. Andy Dalton is going to provide a breath of fresh air. And I think Bryce, this was the other thing I wanted to mention. We saw him on the sideline. He looked really relaxed. He looked as though a massive weight had been taken off his shoulders. He generally looked not happy to be benched, but happy that he can now sit, he can now learn, he can now adjust to this offense, he can get a few more reps, he can train, he can improve. And this, I think, is what he needed to do. The head coach has definitely, he may have took this job because no one else wanted to, But if he can put up scores like this every other week, and if he can finish off like with a 500 on the season, like I think everyone would say he's done a very good coaching job considering what they've had to sort of go through. But this is going to be an interesting season for the Panthers for sure.
Now, apparently, the Panthers had multiple offers for trades for Bryce.
Really?
That's what the
I'm
rumors
hearing
were.
this. Rumors, yeah. Okay.
I think there were rumors of that. Now, I don't know if I was reading fake news or not, but that's what I've heard of.
I wouldn't be surprised because his
it's-
ability is there. His ability is there. You cannot.
and it's always a
deny
situation
that.
thing, right?
Yeah.
You get him in the
Literally.
right situation, you can mold him into what you need him to be. But if you look at the flip side, for the Raiders in this one,
Ooh.
one player in particular did not look good in this one, and that is their best offensive weapon, Davante Adams. He was particularly poor, and there were murmurings of players taking business decisions. And Antonio Pierce saying, well, they're going to make some business decisions too. So he didn't seem happy at all. Now, could Davante Adams find himself traded? I don't think so, but
No, he's like the star. He's the main pulling fact. Like people are coming to see him play. So I don't really think the Davis family is going to really allow that to happen. Like ultimately, he can say that, but it depends how they want to sort of run the team. You can definitely get a lot of pieces for him. Like there's definitely like if you were to say we give you Davante Adams, you might be able to squeeze a first round pick out of a team, like a late first round pick. So it's going to be a contender. It's not going to be someone who's middle of the road to bad. But if you want to trade to like a contender that would love to have Davante Adams on their team as a receiver, you could definitely say, yeah, we'll give you a first round pick.
I joked to someone saying, "Oh, there's a team that wears green over the other side of the country that might want him." Obviously, being the Jets, and I was like, "Wouldn't it be really funny if they sent him to the New York Giants? You can go to New York, just not them. You can go be with Danny Dimes."
Giants are going to lose a lot of games, so I think they're not going to lose.
No, that was the out of spite, but that was a joke. But it's not. Yeah, it's not a serious comment. But yeah, the Raiders, they didn't look good at all. Couldn't really move the ball on the ground. Couldn't really move the ball in the air. And Panthers, well, as of this recording, Monday Night Football has not happened. So we don't know whether the Bengals are 0-3 or 1-2. But the Bengals are the next opponents for the Panthers, so we'll see what happens with that game next week. But Panthers, a little resurgence, and then let's see where they actually end up and what kind of building blocks they can have for the future as well with this one.
Yeah, because you can win as a team in this league. You don't necessarily have to win because you've got dynamite players or one or two guys that are cornerstones. You can make this a team victory. And that's what the Panthers need to sort of become with Andy Dalton there at the helm. Like they need to try and win these games as a team. And if they can do that, like I said, the head coach Canales. Sorry, I can't pronounce. I'll just call him Canales. I'll just call it.
That's how
Canales might find himself in a interesting situation because if, like I said, if they go for over 500 this season, he's probably going to carry on as the head coach because he's shown that he can.
They're not going over 500 this season.
You don't think, yeah? You think this is like a free occurrence of a win? This is more the Raiders being inept. This is the Raiders being inept.
You look at it, right?
I mean, it's Andy Dalton, so yeah, I think you're right. Like a washed up Andy Dalton.
But you look at the schedule that they've got, right?
Yeah.
So they've got the Bengals next up. We don't expect them to win that one, right? Bears, you don't know.
Yep, true.
Right? Falcons, Commanders, Broncos, Saints. Ooh. They could lose all of them.
Yeah, well, they
Hypothetically.
could win all.
They could beat the Commanders,
Maybe
right?
not the Saints. I don't think they're going to beat the Saints, but
Right.
yeah.
And
Commanders,
then Giants, right? But they also have Chiefs, Bucks, Eagles, Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks, Falcons after the bye week.
We'll find out. Like a lot of these teams after the 5th game, we'll kind of get to see who they're going to be this season. So right now it's still too early. Like certain teams might turn it around and show that any weird occurrences, for example, the Buccaneers falling this week might just be, we had a bad game. But we'll see. I mean, and likewise, like if Carolina turn right back into a pumpkin, then we know like it was just a freak occurrence. But if they go on like a 10 with the next 3, then that's pretty much like, okay, I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
but if you're a betting man, the spread, like you can make quite a bit of money if you're a betting man.
Yeah.
Always bet on the chaos.
Yeah. Well, let's see where they actually where it actually leads. But yeah, Bryce is going to sit in the shadows for a little bit, and let's see what the Red Rifles will manage to do with that roster, with him behind centre. So yeah.